Monday, October 28th. Market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. A little late this morning, 10:22 California time. Usually I'm around 10 or 9:45. Nevertheless, I start out with indexes and go to futures and sometimes other things like cycles, sectors, formations, um, and a variety of things. So, indexes, the E-mini. Doji today, at the moment, up mildly, a couple of points. It's been there most of the day, going sideways for the most part. We still have only a few days for the October lows, which does not look like they're going to happen. Maybe early November. So I'm kind of drifting out of this October low this year, which is disappointing. The last few years have been outstanding, and the track record is outstanding. But this year it looks like it's not really going to happen. The low that was made at the first couple of days of October is not really a candidate for the October low like I was expecting. Now we could see a really big break in today through Thursday, but again, not particularly likely. So here we go. We're up on the day a little bit. If this market continues to hold and starts to rally a little more, closing above Friday's high is going to be the second highest close and maybe a little more strength, the highest close for this trend, which would probably push it into new high ground and have another sharp rally. Substantial one, probably. Trend is your friend. But because of the October situation and the fact that the market is having a lot of trouble in this little resistance area that it's established a couple of weeks ago and has seen lower lows late last week, well, Wednesday, and the recovery didn't hold very well on Friday's high, closed very poorly, relatively speaking. So today it's trying again. It's not going down. I'm not getting the downside follow through that I was looking for across the board weeks ago into the October low. So will it still happen? Yeah, it could. This still looks, regardless of the month of the year, like it's rolling over. And I think I'm going to see new lows this week below the low of last week, which will probably push it down to at least 57.20-ish. And maybe the other downside support areas could be obtained on this downside correction, which would probably last a few weeks. And then November and December historically are also pretty strong, so I can't eliminate that likelihood. So after this correction, if it happens, I'm looking for new highs completely. Next chart is the 5-minute E-mini. And this morning we've had a little bit of weakness, but again, it's not below yesterday's low, that yellow line. The day before's low, that yellow line, and the day before that, we will hit more and more sell stops as we drop off below those levels if we can. So those are the first three levels that are very important at the moment on the way down. Otherwise, as I said before, above Friday's highs would put it right close to making new highs totally. Okay, we'll see what happens. I am a little in favor of the downside. Spider, same story, nothing much to talk about. There was a gap. I've erased that now. I've erased it before, but it got closed on the same day, Friday when it opened higher. But then again, it came down quite a bit. So you can see on Friday right here, it opened with the up gap, ran up, tested resistance, couldn't get through it, came down net lower on the day and closed poorly, but no outside down day or bearish engulfing, no new low close. So here we are, but it's still not acting particularly strong at the moment. Next, QQQ. Now, it did make a new high for quite a while, but not for the whole trend. And if we do see this market start to come down and make lows lower than last week's lows, people will start talking about a broad double top, which would be very bearish. If that's the conversation, then you got to take the distance from the lowest low right here at 425, let's call it, easy number to work with, all the way up, 425, all the way up to 500, a few ticks over. So that is a 75-point move, which is huge. But it just happened back in July. Could happen again. Don't think so. Oh, that's below 75 points. Sorry, below 425. That's the downside objective on the double top if it gets to that point, and I doubt it. Qs, 5 minute, basically, slipping, still higher in the day a bit. Nothing. Today's been kind of boring. NASDAQ around where it opened. NQ did make a minor new high, couldn't hold it, and then closed very poorly on Friday. Now, that is a bull trap or very indicative of markets that turn around, which this hasn't done. It's now up a little. It's an inside trading range. No higher highs, no lower lows. Gotta wait. Next is the 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ. You can see it popped up for a few minutes on Friday above the yellow line, which is the previous rally high, and just plain gave up the ghost and dropped off. And even this morning's attempt again didn't do the trick. Okay, YM, Dow Jones, inside trading range, rally high, but the Dow has been coming down very consistently in the last previous week. So a little rally, even for a day or two or three, is not going to be out of the realm of expectations. But did this support level hold and we are about to make total new highs? Or is this bounce going to die and we're going to make lower lows? I think lower lows. And if that happens, you'll now be at the lowest low for 2 months. Next, details, rolled over, bouncing back a little for the day. Can't say too much about it. And the Russell, quite a nice rally. Bearish engulfing on Friday did not work, and we're out today for the ER1 overnight. That's it. Boom. So go to the details. Sold it short, got stopped out. At least we had the opportunity, or the code dropped the stop down from its original level, which would have been worse, and we took a loss. There was a small day trade profit, not that that matters much, on Friday, on the outside down day. Bearish engulfing, ER1 scalp. Okay, bonds. Very interesting. We're oversold again. Now you've got, at the moment, a double divergence. Lowest low in the RSI back here, October 14th. New low in price a few days ago, and RSI did not make a new low. Again, new lows in price after a little bounce a couple days, and RSI so far has not gotten below a few days ago, let alone October 14th. It's in the time frame I wanted. It's below my objective price-wise, so I got everything I wanted plus a little bit more. Nothing wrong here. Remember, I think this is developing the last shoulder on a very large 2-year double shoulder head and shoulder bottom. And the same thing for notes. In the time frame, now almost completely down to what I was looking for. The bonds have overdone it, which is fine. And the notes are just getting there. Oversold, divergences, prime territory, time-wise and price-wise for interest rate futures to start to rally. Next. Okay, crude, new lows, great sell signal, made some money on it, got out a few days ago. Now it gapped down. Remember, gaps are almost always closed, so I'm looking for a rally back up to about 67. Sorry, 70 flat in probably this week, and then lower. Looking for a test of the support area down here, and maybe even new lows for months and months. Heating oil, also suffering from probably the same information that caused crude to go down. New lows, new low close for a little over a month. Yeah, almost a month, not quite. And trend is down, had a sell signal. It's been working great, had a good profitable trade. We're out at the moment, and finally another new low. Looks like it's going to stay down there also. If it bounces back dramatically, different story completely. And what we're looking at here, natural gas, not a new low yet, but a big down day, not oversold either, so it's not close to a bottom, except for support area. That might hold again, so you got to watch that. closing below previous lows is going to cause it to drop off pretty sharply, pretty quickly. Next, we got a sell signal on gold last week on Wednesday. We are still short with small losses on the ER3 overnight and the ER1 overnight. Trade lines are still showing up, and we're not out. There's our stop in both cases. So it hasn't even had the opportunity to come down yet. I could lower it if I wanted to. I'm going to leave it there to see what develops. Bearish, looking for new lows in gold. Got overbought in silver. Did top out. We're up today some. We're bouncing off of support. You know, these precious metals are not looking particularly bad longer intermediate term here. Also platinum. So after a bit of a dip in precious metals, I think they could make new highs again. Looking at copper coming up, platinum coming up pretty strongly. A new high close looks likely. Almost a new high since July. Not bad. Attacking the highest highs for the last year and a half. Not that much further higher. Got to be bullish. We keep making higher highs last couple of months, and the lows are starting to get higher as well. Next chart, copper. Sideways today in a support and resistance area. Probably going to make new lows soon. We got a sell signal on the very top of the market and another good one a few days later. We're out. Had some good trades. Waiting for a breakout up or down at the moment in copper. I favor lower if that's the case. Probably going to work all the way down to about 4. It's at 4.36 at the moment. Next, soybeans and grains, and then cattle hogs. Excuse me. The grain markets, I'm trying to sometimes make bullish intermediate to longer term comments other than the short term rally, which I always try to pick as best I can. That's already happened. It didn't top out for any obvious particular reason. It's just on Thursday of last week closed relatively poorly, around unchanged after new highs, slipped on Friday, and today again, and it's not far from the previous lows. It's not oversold at the moment. I think this market can make new lows for the month of October, and therefore super close already to making new lows for a long period of time. A very long period of time. And that's the last 3 years, I think. 2.5, 3 years. I'm sorry about that. Off coming back. Now, long-term trend, downward slanting channel. Nothing's changed. Got to be bearish. Looking at soybean oil. Same thing. Resistance stopped the rally. Didn't quite get overbought. Too bad. No signals. Starting to drop pretty quickly today. And I think it's going to make lows under the lows of the last couple of weeks and come down and challenge 38, 37.30 ballpark. Bearish soybean meal. New lows now 2 days in a row, but we're oversold. We're approaching support. So maybe we'll get to this bull trend line and the support level and be a little bit more oversold in the next day or two and then bounce. But it's priming itself for a bounce. I wouldn't be going short down here. I would wait for a bounce and then sell a rally maybe up to 310, 315. Next chart is corn. Buy signal on the bottom of the break. Sell signal almost on top. We got our rally. We had a great trade, not huge. Got out on Wednesday. Thursday we got out. Friday down, good. And we're down even more today. Better. No signal on the high of the rally, just an exit on a long. I think this market's going to challenge the blows of the move lately, 400, and probably go all the way down to 385 and maybe even make new lows for the trend after that. Grain just doesn't seem to be holding or doing anything intermediate to longer term bullish that I can tell at this point. Wheat, basically the same comments. Rallies, resistance stop, overbought stopped, new lows now today since the beginning of September. That's about 2 months worth almost. Bearish. looking for new lows for the whole trend probably. Cattle in a resistance area, but not quite overbought. Close, but not overbought. Rolling over a little bit here, but not really that much. The fact that we're maintaining these prices in new high ground looks kind of bullish. It's not falling apart right away. Even if there is a little bit of a dip, looks like this trend is going to continue upward. And Miss Piggy, sell signal on Thursday, but we got stopped out today. Not good. Not terrible, but not good. So we had an ER3 short on Thursday and the original ER1 short on the signal day on Thursday, and boom, bang, we're out. So E-mini, still up on the day, not doing too much, bouncing a little at the moment. You have a great day, profitable trading to you.